Now, Kevin, let me ask you. A little while, you were talking about abortion,
yes.
and you felt that none of the presidential candidates really addressed that issue. Could you tell us why and what makes the differences?
Well, almost all of the candidates that are currently running support incremental legislation. So they've signed the Susan B. Anthony list or said that they would sign that type of legislation. A lot of pro-lifers get excited about these types of legislation, and they get all excited and say, oh, we're going to save some babies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not, people have been doing this for years. It's time to stop trying to save some babies and stand up, say, okay, you know what? We all have common sense. Medicine is to heal people, not harm people. Science tells us that at the moment of conception, it is a human with its own unique DNA. It's a human. It's a person. That is the point at which you cannot kill it. It is unnatural for a mother to kill the child in the womb. So when I say none of the candidates are properly addressing it, is because they're all willing to sign these little pieces of legislation that protects a few hundred here and a few hundred there. Tyranny is when a president uses powers he was never granted to mandate things for which he has no constitutional justification or authority.
Okay.
Leadership is when a president uses the full authority of the office to enforce that which has been written but neglected without fear that 12 opinions to the contrary means the fight is over. No, if it's a human life, it shouldn't matter what the economic circumstance is, shouldn't matter what the circumstance of conception was, how it was created. If there's a human life there, you don't have the right to murder it. And almost all of the candidates that I know of are either taking that incremental approach, or in the case of Ron Paul, he's going to go through steps 1, 2, and 3, and then send it to the states and let the states decide.
Ron Paul.
And then you have 50 rolls of the dice to see who's going to protect life and who's not. I don't think murdering babies is a state's right.
Yeah,
this is Tom Hofling again. I'd like to address what Kevin is saying, if I could.
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, I stand in full agreement with Kevin. Our party has not endorsed anybody for president. We may or may not even run a candidate in 2012. We'll see. Okay. But when it comes to life, the cornerstone first principle of this country is the protection of the God-given, unalienable right to life. The first principle upon which our whole form of government is based. It's the principle on which our claim to liberty is premised. So it's the first thing. And the Republicans, back in 1984, under Ronald Reagan's guiding hand, put a plank in their platform that recognizes the personhood of the child in the womb and their protection by the 14th Amendment, their equal protection. And they just ignore it. And Kevin's exactly right. This entire Republican field has abandoned the cornerstone principle of our country. And if they can't get that right, they can't get anything else right.